to the Better Health Now podcast. Today, I have the opportunity to sit down with Judy Grissom of Bosom Buddies. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for asking me.
Yeah, I'm excited to have this conversation. As we get started, would you like to introduce yourself? We'll kind of get started there.
Okay, my name is Judy Grissom. I am with the Cullman County Bosom Buddies Foundation, and I'm just grateful to be here today to kind of explain our history.
Yeah, so I guess to kind of set up the story and kind of begin the conversation, talk a little bit about sort of your involvement in Bosom Buddies before it was even considered to be Bosom Buddies.
Okay, the Bosom Buddies support group actually started in 1994.
Okay,
and it started because a couple of the surgeons asked Miss Mary Dyer if she would be kind enough to start a support group for all the breast cancer patients that they were having. And she did, and it was very successful. And she averaged having about at least 20 people come to the meeting.
Wow.
And that took place from 1994 until about 2011.
Okay.
And at that time, we had tornadoes in Cullman. I mean, it really changed the landscape of Cullman forever. And out of that disaster came a lot of needs. And for cancer patients, they had medical needs, but they also had personal needs that need to be helped, basic living expenses. So they started asking Miss Mary if the support group could help them. So Miss Mary could never say no, and she would have her group to bake cakes, and they would sell cakes in the cafeteria, just outside of the cafeteria at the hospital. And some of their bake sales raised $1,500.
Wow.
I mean, they really went all in when they had these bake sales. And they helped a lot of people. But with Miss Mary talking to Lori McGrath and some other people at the hospital, they determined that they needed to do something more stable for raising money to help these people. And the nurse navigation program was developed at that time. And I think Dr. Smith and Dr. Wyndham and Lori and a few others went out of town to some of the other hospitals that already had that program set up and got the ideas for setting up one here. And they came back and made it happen.
Yeah.
And so the Bosom Buddies support group started working toward getting their foundation set up. So I came in at 2013.
Okay.
I was seeking advice from Miss Mary about having a business that I have wigs, but I also have other products for cancer patients. So I asked Miss Mary if she felt like there was a need for that in Cullman, and she encouraged me to do that. So I was opening and getting ready to have my ribbon cutting, and Dr. Williamson called and said, "Hey, you got to get your mammogram redone." They saw something. So I was diagnosed with cancer just as I was opening that shop.
Wow.
And so I had a bilateral mastectomy done with reconstruction, and then I got started with a support group and got more involved with getting the foundation started.
Yeah, and so you kind of dove into the foundation like 2013 or so. How has the foundation over the last, 11 years now, kind of grown, and kind of you've been able to see it kind of continue to support more than just breast cancer, but all sorts of cancer patients?
Okay. After I got involved, we had one bake sale, and Miss Mary told all of us in the support group, everybody bake your cakes and bring them up to the, I got to tell this, it's a cute story. She used to bring them up to the hospital, and we'll price them and sell them. So I brought my little cake, my chocolate cake, from a box and icing from a can, and brought it in up there. And when I walked in, it looked like pieces of art sitting there. Their cakes were absolutely beautiful, but they were delicious too.
Wow.
Miss Mary looked at my little cake, and she looked at it, and she thought for a minute, and she said, "I tell you what, I think we're going to slice this cake and wrap up the slices and sell them individually." We haven't had a bake sale since. And so, but it's hard work to do all of that, so I felt like that we needed to do something that would bring in more money. So we had bike rides, and we had 5K runs, and we had a parade with a pink fire truck that came. We did that for about 5 years, I guess.
Okay.
And but we had to worry with the weather. The weather had to had to cooperate with us,
Yeah.
or it was a bad event. And so the last 5K run and event that we had, it was 34 degrees that morning, and it was drizzling rain, and it was a little ice in it, and it was that way all day for our whole event that whole day. And we decided then we needed to do something that was inside. So we started in 2018. We had a survivors dinner at Stonebridge, and we didn't try to raise money at that one. We did that strictly for survivors. And then we came back in 19 and had the little pink dress event at the loft. And we found out at that event we raised more money and that we could help more people doing it that way. So you want me to tell you numbers now?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I think it's like that pink dress event is y'all's biggest event now. But its first sort of inception was right before COVID, and then COVID kind of changed what that looked like.
Exactly.
But talk a little bit about the foundation as a whole, is like what you've been able to do so far this year, as well as even over the last 10 plus years.
Okay. What we do is pay basic living expenses, and that's determined by the nurse navigator.
Okay.
And she sends the request to us, and we write the check and go and pay the bill for the people. And it has evolved in that we pay their basic living expenses. So we pay for food cards, gas cards. They get those when they see the nurse navigator. They walk out of her office with something. And then we we buy gas, like propane gas, if they need that. We've bought washing machines because they need, or stove. We had bought a stove for some people.
Wow.
We buy what they need to get them through that cancer treatment program. And we've paid co-pays for the doctors, to the doctor's offices, just whatever we need to do. And it's not only for breast cancer. We help man, woman, or child, whatever their needs are, as long as they live in Cullman County and are approved by the nurse navigator through her program. Yeah.
And I would assume as Cullman itself's grown and the hospital itself's grown, you've been able to support even more people than you probably ever even imagined as the foundations continue to grow and as just support in Cullman counties continue to grow. Right. What has the support looked like so far as we're recording this halfway through 2024? What does 2024 look like for Bosom Buddies, and what is the kind of the rest of the year looking like?
Okay, every year since 2017, every year we have grown in the amount of money that we give. Last year, a total amount that we helped with was $58,000.
Wow.
So far this year, we're looking, this is the end of July, $44,000.
Wow.
So we're close to already matching what we did last year. Since we started, we've helped with $306,000.
Wow.
And it grows every year. And it's not because of us, it's because of the community. The community is where we get our money. They sponsor us, they support us, and we couldn't do it without the community. There's a lot of businesses that have just kind of put us under their wing, so to speak, and take care of us and help us out. And
so, as we mentioned, that pink dress event is being one of your biggest events, and this episode will release sort of right before that event. Talk a little bit about what that event is, what people can expect to see at that event, and when that event is actually occurring this year. Okay. It's October the 1st. It's a Tuesday night. It's from 6 until 9, so it's a short evening, but it's really packed. It's a fast-moving evening because we have dinner. Stonebridge is providing the food for us this year. We're having steaks from the butcher shop. Wow. It's just awesome. And we have a live and a silent auction. We have a 50-50 draw at the end of the evening, which means you buy a $1 ticket and put it in a jar, and if they draw out your ticket, you get half of the jar. Last year, that was $600 somebody took home with them. And the Wallace Jazz Band has been really good to come and support us. They've been there for every event that we've asked them to be, and they do a fantastic job. We have the senior kickers from the Green Center that come every year and do a dance to Dolly Parton's Pink, and it is very elegant. Yeah. It's an elegant thing.
So, and Samuel Tucker is our MC, and I don't know if you know Reverend Samuel Tucker or not, but he's a big guy with a big voice, and he can keep everybody's attention.
Good.
And so it's just a fast-moving event. Oh, the main thing is we have celebrity waiters. So we have about 60 this year. They're elected officials. They're the judges, the lawyers, firemen. I said elected officials. They're not all elected officials, but they're prominent in the community.
Wow.
And they are really good. They've helped us since the first event, and we've just added to the list. And we're happy to have them. The sheriff and his group have really helped us out a lot.
Yeah, and so if someone's listening or watching and they want to get tickets or they want to find out more information, where is the best place to kind of learn more and maybe even attend the event?
Okay, they can go online, and we have a QR code on our website, and just pull up Bosom Buddies website, and they can find all the information there. At Options at my store, you can come by there and pay with credit card or cash and pick up tickets then. Better Than Before has some of our tickets. You can buy tickets there.
Okay.
So just we try to get out these save the date cards in April, by at least April the 1st. And so a lot of people have the information. They just need to go ahead and act because we're selling a lot of tickets fast.
Wow. Yeah, and I would assume as the years have gone on, and we talked a little bit about it before we got started, but just the growth of that event and how much, coming back after COVID, it was just one of these incredible events. And I would assume it's probably not slowing down at all, and you're not expecting it to slow down in future years either.
It has just grown. Last year we outgrew the loft. We sold every table that they had and had to turn people away.
Wow.
So this year we've gone to Cotton Creek, and we can seat 500 people there. So we expect to have a full house.
Wow. Yeah, and we'll have all the information about Bosom Buddies and all those links in the notes. So if you want to find out more information, you can visit that. As we're sitting here, and we have 6 months or so left of the year, halfway through 2024, and you've talked a lot about just the past impact and a little bit about the future. But I mean, what do you see it looking like in the next few years for Bosom Buddies and the impact it will have here in Cullman?
I think it will just continue to grow. We want to help those people that are in need and look to us for help. And we want to do the best we can to serve every person.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to talk a little bit about Bosom Buddies, a little bit about your story and kind of the impact you've had here in Cullman. And I continue to look forward to the impact that Bosom Buddies will have here in Cullman for years to come. But thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I appreciate it.